Hey y'all.
Oh,
Hello. I'm Jen.
and I'm Em,
Welcome to In My Haunted Era.
a podcast where we talk about ghost stories, urban legends, conspiracy theories, and just ourselves.
Just ourselves too. Yeah. How are you doing since we last saw each other?
I am doing well.
30 minutes
Uh,
ago.
minutes ago, in that 30 minutes, I had an AC issue.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, it's getting warmer in Texas. It was like 93 yesterday. Today wasn't
Was
as I
it
was like,
really?
oh yeah, dude, 93 was the high yesterday.
I was
To-
at work or sleeping and then at work,
oh,
so I don't really know the weather.
It was hot. Today wasn't as bad. It was like
Damn.
88.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
if your AC stops working in Texas when it starts getting hot, it starts to get concerning. Oh,
It's an emergency.
yeah. But my husband's on it. I was like,
That's
babe,
good.
you got to be on it.
We gotta be on
I'm
it.
tagging out. So
Tag it out. Yeah. This is on you, boo. Figure it out. Well,
I
hopefully it
know.
starts working whilst we're doing this and it
I
will
hope
be
so.
less balmy.
I have total faith in
I believe in
Steven.
him. Maybe he'll do witchcraft to
I know.
make it work.
Do
You can make a
another
pentagon.
a penta.
Oh, I was going to tell you. Okay, so we went to this cool thing when I was in London.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I told you about Kevin's friend that you know or you've met, Tanner. Tanner. We hung out with him so much.
That's awesome.
He is so funny and so cool. We had the best time. But he works for, I don't really know what his job roles are, but he works for this place called the Moonshine Saloon,
Oh,
and
cool.
it's an immersive theater experience.
Oof.
And at first, I thought it was just a play we were going to. And then Kevin was like, no, it's an immersive thing. And I was like, oh, that's not in my comfort zone because I
Yeah.
don't do that. Let me fucking tell you. We went to two of them. One was called Alcatraz. It was prison themed. You wear jumpsuits.
Oh, I saw you
You
post
saw
on
the
Instagram
pictures,
about
yeah.
that. Yeah.
You wear jumpsuits and the guards help you smuggle your alcohol in. And
Oh,
then they make these fancy cocktails. You bring a bottle of liquor, whatever your choice. Tanner brought absinthe. That was his fucking choice. That's what he had. So you bring an unopened bottle of liquor. You smuggle it in. We had fake Bibles. Like they find little things for you when you're doing an intake and they like help you smuggle it. It's a part of the thing.
that's
And
very
so
cool.
the whole ploy of the plot of this play was that the warden knew that stuff was going on, that like, people were smuggling things in, but they weren't sure what. So we were having chicken noodle soup and ourselves. So anyways, you give the guards your smuggled goods and they make the best cocktails. You don't tell them what you want. Like, you just give them the booze. They give you 4 cocktails during this hour and a half period, and then they give you the booze back to take home.
Oh,
But I'm telling you, even without the booze, I got so into it.
it's
It was
cool.
the funnest thing I've ever done. And I became Big Titty Tina in the
Big
prison
Tina.
in there for murder. And we were going to take down the warden. We were going to murder that warden. Like, that was it. I was like, we got to kill him. There's no other choice. He's acting a fool. We got to kill him. I got really into it. And then we went to this other one called the Moonshine Saloon, which is a similar premise, but it's Western themed. We got in these for free because of Tanner. But people who, buy tickets, you have the option to buy certain roles within it. So while we were at dinner one night with Tanner, Tanner was like, oh, I think the deputy is still available. I'm going to make Kevin the deputy. So he was voluntold to be the deputy. And so that was funny. But then when I got there, I was voluntold that I was going to be the mayor. And the mayor had to give a speech because it's voting night. It's election night. And the girl whose family owned the saloon, she was really proud that they were able to be a place where you vote this time. This is like set in like the 1800s, right? Like Wild Wild West. I think it's not really Wild Wild West. It was set in like Kansas in this time period. But
Okay. West
yeah.
enough.
Yeah. And so I had to give a speech. I thankfully won. I was very proud.
Oh, that's
I'm the
great.
mayor of the Moonshine Saloon, but it was the most fun thing I have done. Like, it was probably my favorite thing we did in London. That is like so unrelated to London, but it was just the coolest thing that we did. And me and Kevin were talking, and he's like, you should like look into doing some like improv classes since you enjoyed it so much. And that scares me to death. But I know that there's a lot of applications for improv, like just outside of acting. Like it can just help
100%.
you just generally in interactions with people and
So a couple of
whatever.
things. What is the company called in London if listeners want to go?
Okay, so I don't know what the overall company is called, but look up Alcatraz, Alcotraz. That's one of them. And then Moonshine Saloon is the other one we went to.
Okay.
And they have these all over the UK. They're not just in London. But now I'm really interested in doing an improv class and getting out of my comfort zone like that.
Well, I was going to tell you, second thing, a Western cocktail experience.
Yes.
Okay, very cool.
It's so cool.
If you're in the UK and you want to go support some theater and
Yeah.
friends and have a good time, Moonshine Saloon.
It's a great, fun night out
It's
that's
very
out of the
cool.
norm.
I love it.
Mhm.
And then second thing I was going to tell you, if you're interested in improv, Steven is a member of Stomping Ground Theater,
Okay.
and this is in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful nonprofit that focuses on improv for just different things. So they have an improv for anxiety class. And people who
Oh,
sign up and take that class do have anxiety. It's something that
yeah.
they like identify with. And it's just a very safe space to be around other anxious humans
Yeah.
and do improv and like learn from that and grow from that. They also have improv for caregivers. So if you are a caregiver and the Stephen did a class that was like caring for people with dementia, I think. And so like that was like
Interesting.
yeah, and so they offer a lot, but if improv is something you want to start doing and you want to like ease into it, improv for anxiety is a great one to do because
Okay, I'm gonna look into that
yeah,
because I am also an anxious butterfly and
I get
that
it.
could be really fun.
And improv
And
is scary. Like it's
it is so
scary.
scary, but it was so much fun getting into some kind of character.
Yeah,
That it
dude.
just happened. Not that I ever want to do acting of any kind, but the improv aspect of it was so much fun. And I also think it would help with the podcast and stuff too.
Improv is amazing. I keep trying to get the city I work for is like super into it, but
Mhm.
like a wellness thing of like having a team building improv class. So like
That's
bring because
cool.
they'll also do a stomping ground in Dallas, great
Yeah.
nonprofit. But they will send instructors out to like do business, like I don't even know what it's called,
Yeah.
conventions or not
Yeah. Yeah.
conventions,
Yeah.
team building
Like
stuff.
group things. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, everyone needs to do improv. Because I'll tell you what, I work in HR and I'm always like, hire the theater kid, do improv. You will not be disappointed. You won't be sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad I brought that up because I have been thinking about it. But also, side note, we need to get something like this going in Dallas.
Okay, we're
I don't
down.
know what theme it would be, but we need to get with Em and Steven because they would be perfect.
Oh yeah, all over that.
There's nothing like that here in DFW.
But at least not that I've heard of. Like the
Not that I've
mixing of
heard
the
of.
cocktails and stuff. That's
Yeah.
a very cool thing to do
Yeah.
and to offer.
And like, I don't know how that.
It's also very cool that Tanner is like brought back into our lore
Yeah,
because
I
so we met
know.
him when we visited Kevin. He was going to Cal Arts.
Mm
We met Tanner, and Tanner was like obsessed with this woman that he was in classes with,
hmm. Mm
Saskia.
hmm. Mm hmm.
And we like were hearing all this. So then when you guys met up with him, I of course did like, my research on social media. He doesn't have
Mm hmm.
one, but
No.
Saskia does. And
They
they got
got
married. And I was like, I
married.
remember when this little boy was
I
obsessed with her. And I was like,
know.
how cool to like have him. I was like, his story was continued.
Yeah. I met Saskia's sister
Oh,
because
oh my
she was
God.
in the Moonside Saloon. She was the one that owned.
That's cool. So is her sister younger or older?
I think she's younger. I want
Okay.
to say she's
That
younger.
is so cool. I didn't know that she had, well, one, I don't know too much about Saskia. I didn't know
Yeah.
she had a sister. I also didn't know that she had family like living over there with them. So that's just
Yeah.
so cool.
I know, right? Yeah, I didn't actually get to meet Saskia, so I was sad because she was doing like a
Beautiful.
theater traveling thing where they teach something. I don't really know.
I just remember her
But
being absolutely beautiful.
that's all. Everything I've heard about her is that she's stunning.
Yeah, and
So
like fairy.
yeah, yeah, that's what I've heard. So I'm glad I didn't meet her because if she didn't live up to that, I would have been disappointed.
That is so cool. Thank
Yeah, it
you
was
for
so much
sharing.
fun. Okay, so what are you talking about today?
I am talking about the Mount Hope Cemetery in
Mount
Bangor,
Hope.
Maine.
Oh,
Have
I've
you
heard of
seen
that cemetery.
have you seen
Have I?
Pet Cemetery? Or have you
No,
read the book?
I have heard of the book. I haven't read it though.
This is a cemetery based on that book, and we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
What are you talking?
Okay. Okay, so I'm talking about the Delhi Purple Sapphire.
Ooh.
Yeah, we've got an object today. And I almost went
Awesome.
to go see it because it's in London at what museum? It's at a museum in London. Oh, the Natural History Museum in London.
Okay.
The day we ended up spending with Tanner because they live on a houseboat in London.
So cool.
So it was so cool. But we were going to go to museums that day, but we decided obviously we'd rather hang out with Tanner than go see some old shit in a room that the British Empire stole from other people, you know?
Classic.
So, you know, just imperialism shit. So we decided not to, but I really wanted to go to this museum just to see this item because I'm going to be talking about it.
Okay.
But yeah, so the Delhi Purple Sapphire's tale begins during one of the bloodiest chapters of British colonial history, the Indian Rebellion of 1857, also known as the Sepoy Mutiny or India's First War of Independence. This was a massive uprising against British rule, marked by intense violence, siege, and looting. During the chaos, British soldiers looted temples, palaces, and treasuries, seizing artifacts and treasures, as they do. Among these was an amethyst. It's actually not a sapphire. More on that misnomer later. Taken from a temple in Kanpur, in the Indian state of I didn't look. I forgot to look. I looked all this up when I wrote this a month ago. Uttar Pradesh, dedicated to Indra, the Hindu god of war, weather, and thunderstorms.
Ooh.
Indra was associated with power, revenge, and divine retribution, making the desecration of his temple a particularly bold and ominous transgression. The gem was brought back to England by Colonel W. Ferris, an officer of the Bengal Cavalry. This was a prestigious position within the British East India Company, but Ferris's life took a sharp nosedive after he acquired the stone. Soon after its arrival, Ferris and his family began experiencing a string of misfortunes, almost as if they had brought Indra's wrath with them.
Ooh.
So the first thing that happened, or not first thing, but one of the many things that happened was financial collapse. After returning from India, Ferris's financial fortunes rapidly declined. Despite his rank, he reportedly lost large amounts of money through bad investments, failed business ventures, or unexplained expenses. Some accounts suggest debts mounted quickly, leading to distress and humiliation in polite society. Fate nearly worse than death for a Victorian gentleman.
Oh,
Ferris's
yeah, 'cause
family,
you have to live through it.
Dude, right?
You have to live. You have to. If you're dead, you don't have to hear the shit people talk about.
Exactly. But yeah, you got to hear people talking mad shit about you for being a dumbass in business.
Yikes.
Ferris and his family members also suffered persistent health issues. There are mentions of chronic illness affecting Ferris soon after his return. Though details are unclear, some accounts speak of consumption-like symptoms, possibly tuberculosis or wasting illness. His wife and children also reportedly fell ill, suffering long-term ailments that did not respond to treatment. The gem's possession is also linked with psychological deterioration. Ferris is said to have developed paranoia and melancholy, common descriptors for depression or mental instability in Victorian terms. Reports claim Ferris became withdrawn, believing he was cursed or followed by misfortune, an early recognition of the jewel's alleged power. Although part of me thinks that some of this is likely PTSD, just from somebody who was in war and came back. Just the paranoia and depression that's associated with that. So, but this is a paranormal podcast, so we're going to believe the jewel is cursed.
It's cursed.
We're suspending disbelief.
We're not doctors.
We're not doctors. Ferris's son, name none known in most records, then inherited both the gem and the curse. His business dealings failed, and he also faced a deterioration in health and personal tragedy. Some accounts claim he lost his inheritance, possibly due to bad luck or poor choices, and died prematurely, embittered and destitute. It's reported that he gave the stone to a friend who subsequently committed suicide. In an unsettling twist, that friend had willed the stone back to the son, who found the amethyst, returned to him now with a body count to his legend.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. It's speculated that he sold or passed the gem off in desperation, which may explain how it landed in the hands of the jewel's next infamous owner, Edward Heron Allen. Heron Allen was a British polymath, a man of science, literature, music, and the occult. Heron Allen was fascinated by the mystical properties of objects, and he was drawn to the gem either by curiosity or fate. Upon acquiring the amethyst, his life took a dark turn. He claimed it brought him a series of devastating events, including personal betrayals, health issues, and an overwhelming sense of dread. He loaned the gem to friends, hoping they'd have better luck, or maybe just to get it out of his house.
Oh, what a bitch.
I know.
There you
And
go.
they, too, were met with catastrophe.
What? That's so
Dude,
mean to
I
put that on somebody
know.
else. I looked it up because I wanted to see what it looked like.
Yeah.
It's interesting looking.
Right?
And I'm like,
it's pretty, but it looks, yeah, it doesn't look.
how rude.
I know.
If
That's what you get for stealing it.
You give it to a friend.
Yeah, for real. At least
so
they give a
mean.
disclaimer like, hey, you can have this, but shit's been fucked up with it.
Hey, maybe he did it in good faith of, hey, I'm getting weird vibes. Let's see if you get weird vibes.
Yeah. So
oh, you are?
friend...
So sorry. It's yours now.
Oh, yeah. My finders keepers. You're stuck with it. So one friend who he had loaned the gem to, a singer, lost her voice forever after wearing it. Another suffered severe illness and never recovered.
Oh my God.
I know. Actually, big shit happened.
A singer lost her voice?
forever. I know. I know. Heron Allen became so convinced of its malevolence that he encased it in multiple boxes, nesting doll style, then sealed it in a bank vault. He wrote a warning letter, which I shall read now.
Yeah.
I, Edward Heron Allen, do hereby declare that the Delhi Purple Sapphire, which I have in my possession, has been the subject of much misfortune and ill luck. This stone has brought nothing but sorrow, pain, and ruin to all who have touched it or kept it. It has a curse upon it, a stain of blood, and a mark of vengeance. I cannot explain the precise nature of this curse, nor the manner in which it works, but it is indisputable that those who own it shall suffer. For many years I have studied it, and I have seen the dreadful consequences that await those who dare handle it. I have lived in isolation because of it. I have seen men brought to madness, families ruined, lives destroyed. The stone's influence is malignant and unrelenting, and I warn you, whoever reads this, to beware. Do not open the case unless you are prepared to face the consequences, and even then, you may wish to leave it closed. It is not just a stone, it is a thing of malevolence, a relic of ancient wrath. I have sealed it in a series of boxes, and it must remain sealed until 33 years after my death. I don't know why 33.
Interesting.
Seems like a weird number. I do not wish for anyone to open it before then. It is my final request that it be kept untouched for the rest of my life. It only opened in the distant future. Maybe he just thought he had 33 years left.
He said 33 years after his death.
Oh,
Right?
you're right. I guess he just wanted to cover all of his bases.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like,
weird.
should
Did he have
anyone
kids?
decide
Wait, did he have kids?
I don't know if he had kids. It doesn't really.
I'm so
doesn't say.
interested in this because
I
it's like,
know.
and has anyone opened it? You'll get there. You'll get there.
I'll get there. Should anyone decide to open it, they shall first read this warning and then proceed as they wish, but I will not be held responsible for the consequences that follow. I have suffered enough. May this letter serve as a final plea for mercy from the powers that haunt this accursed jewel. This Victorian goth energy is truly next level.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
I'm going to start leaving shit like that. My will is going to be weird as hell.
Make it weird as hell. Just pick a random object and write a gothic level curse.
This is haunted, by
warning.
the way.
Yeah.
BT dubs.
Don't open it for 47 years after
and it's
my
like
death.
a Polly Pocket or something.
Yeah.
like something that doesn't seem like it would be haunted
completely innocuous.
At all.
Yeah. It's like a toothbrush. This is it. This caused so much destruction in my life. The cavities that ensued.
It's ruined lives.
It's ruined lives. So Heron Allen, in his personal accounts and letters, emphasized Ferris's downfall as the genesis of the curse. He referenced Ferris's life as a cautionary tale of colonial greed and divine retribution, which I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys stole that shit, so you should get what's coming to you, in my opinion. He also believed the desecration of Indra's temple had invoked a karmic punishment that latched onto Ferris and his bloodline. I could see that.
I can see that too. It's just like any curse. It's generational curse, baby.
Exactly. After Heron Allen's death in 1943, his daughter donated the gem to the Natural History. He did have a daughter. Yeah, to the Natural History Museum in London. Along with
I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't want this shit. Along with his cautionary note, but the museum's staff were spooked. They reportedly suffered strange occurrences, including accidents, illnesses, and a string of bad luck. And so a few things that happened. Upon transporting the gem to the museum, staff reported vehicle breakdowns, delays, and accidents, which some blamed on the gem's malevolent energy. There's that word. Can you say that?
Well, yeah, because I'm not reading it. You said it. Malevolent.
Malevolent.
Reading it, different. Malevolent. Because it looks like malevolent.
Oh, yeah. You can say it, but you just can't read it, then say
it.
There were rumors that one of the couriers was injured en route, though records are vague. Several curators who handled or cataloged the gem reportedly experienced unexpected illnesses, sudden family tragedies, or bouts of depression soon after. One senior curator's house was struck by lightning shortly after working with the gem.
In London?
In London. And an eerie coincidence given the gem's association with Indra, the storm god.
So I'm interested in that because I don't hear, like, does London, is that known for, like, lightning strikes? So you see that all in New York. You see that with, like, all of, and like, you know, tornadoes and all that shit. You don't hear about that in the UK.
I'm sure there's lightning.
Well, I'm sure, well, now, but, like, I'm like, is it common?
I'm sure, with any storm, right?
I don't know.
Are you Googling it?
Yeah, I am. Lightning strikes in London.
There was
likely 1 in 33 million chance of being struck and murdered on average year. Okay. So the UK, Ireland, and the surrounding waters usually see between 200,000 and 300,000 lightning strikes annually. Okay. I guess
that
so.
seems common. Yeah, it seems like a normal amount.
Tornadoes in London does not happen.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not a thing.
That's an America thing, right?
Yeah. I think because they're like an island, so I don't think that the weather is prone to tornadoes. Like,
I'm so into this.
I don't know.
2006 London tornado.
Oh, there was a tornado.
I don't think it's as common.
Yeah. I don't think you can roll out weather anywhere, really.
That's true. Oh, yeah, it says, yes, tornadoes are surprisingly common in the UK, but they're less intense than those seen in the US.
That makes sense.
I'm fascinated. Weather
Yeah.
is scary, but fascinating.
It is. It really is.
Very cool.
So attempts to publicly display the gem were often delayed or beset by problems. Cases cracked, lighting failed, or exhibit materials went missing. Staff handling the display setup reported dizzy spells, nausea, or a sense of unease while near the gem.
Look, I'm getting mad at this gem now. Because
Dude,
chill out. They didn't
chill
steal
out.
you.
You know what? Maybe they should just give the gem back, though. That's
Yeah,
my
okay,
thing. I'm like, just give that shit back. Just give it back. After a string of misfortunes, some staff refused to handle the gem at all, leading to it being permanently housed in the vault room with limited access. It's been reported that newer staff are briefed about the gem's reputation, and some even avoid mentioning it by name. Yeah.
Imagine being that powerful. You're like
Dude.
Voldemort.
That is like Voldemort. The gem that must not be named. Despite this,
cool.
it was eventually put on public display, though securely locked in the vault room where rare and precious gems are showcased. The gem was transported via armored car, with museum staff joking, that it needed both security and an exorcist.
Dude.
Yeah. While the Natural History Museum is not known for paranormal claims, some night staff and security have reported cold spots near the gem's display case, flickering lights in the vault room, a sense of being watched, or sudden overwhelming dread. One anecdote tells of a museum worker quitting suddenly after being assigned to the vault room and claiming the gem had spoken to him.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. No official record confirms this, but it's a popular story in paranormal circles.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I wonder
The
what it
museum.
said.
What?
I wonder what it said.
I know. Yeah, he needs to elaborate. The museum doesn't officially acknowledge a curse, but they keep the gem in secure containment, and Hare and Allen's warning letter is sometimes exhibited alongside it.
Sometimes.
I know, right? In interviews, some curators refer to it with nervous humor, calling it our little troublemaker or the gem with a grudge. So here are some actual facts about the stone. It was called a sapphire due to a Victorian era misunderstanding, or likely a marketing ploy, as sapphire sounded fancier. But it is actually an amethyst, which is of a violet variety of quartz. The sapphire is deep purple with a luminescent glow under light. The cut is an oval cabochon. Cabochon, Cabochon. I didn't look up how to pronounce it, but I looked up what that meant, and Google told me it was defined as a precious stone of convex, hemispherical, or oval form, polished but not cut into facets, if that means anything to you.
It doesn't. I didn't grow up with money.
Yeah, me either. And it is
I know cubic zirconia.
Yeah, cubic zirconia. I know the cut of my diamond ring for my wedding ring.
I think mine's just solitaire.
Yeah, mine's an oval. Oh, okay, I just know that it's oval.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know fancy things.
I don't know fancy things.
And a moissanite slab.
A moissanite, yeah.
Lab diamond. Real diamond. Ruby.
Real diamond,
pearl,
blood diamond.
Sapphire.
Yeah.
Sapphire.
Oval.
Solitaire.
Yeah.
Not triangle. Teardrop.
We're classy as fuck. So it is currently located in the vault room of the Natural History Museum in London, and that is the Delhi Purple Sapphire.
The vault room. So do they have a lot of stuff? Okay.
Well, yeah, they have a bunch of other gems and stuff. Precious gems and whatnot.
What is it?
Natural History Museum?
Natural.
Is that the word you forgot?
Yeah, I was like, London. What is the word? National? Kill me.
I believe in you.
Okay, the Vault Gallery. Oh, okay. So they have a ton of stones and
yeah,
sure, except all cookies. I don't know what a cookie is.
That comes up on every website. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, whatever that is, sure, you can have them. I didn't bake them; they're not fresh baked, but you can have them.
My cookies are crazy.
The cookies are crazy.
They're crazy. That is very, very cool.
I know, right?
Now I want to see it.
Yeah,
it's what an interesting story.
I know.
It has. I want to be so powerful that they have to put me in multiple boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
even then,
when they bury me
through.
Yeah, I want to be buried nesting doll style.
For real.
With and I want chains around my box.
I want them to be scared.
Yeah, I want anyone to walk over my grave. I want them to be so scared they don't even look at my grave.
And then I have my encased Polly Pocket with the note that says, exactly. This ruined everyone's life. That came.
This Polly Pocket is evil. She will ruin your life.
Definitely don't chew on the shoes or the
Don't chew on the
dresses.
shoes. You will choke.
We will die.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
My gosh.
That's a good idea.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing
Of
that.
course.
Sapphire, amethyst, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever you want to call it.
Spooky.
Yeah.
So as I said, I'll talk about the Mount Hope Cemetery in Bangor, Maine.
Ooh.
So it's a historic landmark, and it's also a focal point for numerous ghost stories and paranormal encounters. Of course, cemetery.
I didn't realize this was based off of a real place.
Well, yeah, so Stephen King. So a lot of I think all of Stephen King's stuff is set in Maine.
Yeah.
And so the Pet Cemetery, this is like based on, or the Pet Cemetery is based on the cemetery.
Gotcha.
So that's how
so
I was
cool.
like, I love Stephen King, and
I know.
Yeah.
The King is so good.
But so visitors and paranormal enthusiasts have reported a variety of unexplained phenomena contributing to the cemetery's reputation as a haunted location. Now, Mount Hope Cemetery in Bangor, Maine. I think it's Bangor. It's spelled Bangor.
That sounds right.
So if it wasn't Bangor and it's like Bangor, like it should be an E, but I don't know. Northerners say stuff differently. I told you about Mamaroneck, New York. It looks like Mamaroneck. So
Mamaroneck, yeah.
They loved
I think
me there.
Bangor is probably Bangor. Bangor,
Maine.
Bangor.
If you're from Maine, let me know.
Let me know.
But it stands a testament to 19th century landscape design and community planning. It was established in 1834. It holds the distinction of being the second oldest garden cemetery in the United States.
Oh.
Following Mount Auburn Cemetery in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Okay.
It's just old up there. Everything's old up there.
It is old.
In the early 1800s. Okay, wait. So how am I supposed to, am I saying it Bangor?
Bangor.
Or Bangor? Bangor. Or
Bangor.
Let me just look it up. Let me just say.
Let's look it up.
I also have a hard time spelling pronunciation of Bangor. Wait, the stress is on the second syllable. It's not pronounced Bangor or Banga. So it's Banga.
Banga?
It's not Banga. Or
Bangor.
Okay, I'm going to say Bangor. Also, the guy
Bangor.
who was doing it was not American.
That makes a difference.
Or we're going to say Bangor.
Okay, Bangor. Bangor it is.
So, in the early 80s, Bangor experienced rapid growth primarily due to the booming lumber industry. This expansion led to overcrowding in existing urban cemeteries, which seemed to be a theme. Every cemetery we've talked about or thing close to a cemetery is just, hey, too many people have died. This is overcrowded. I'm like, okay, there's too many people in general. Promoting local citizens to seek a more suitable and aesthetically pleasing resting place for their deceased.
Aesthetically pleasing?
Aesthetically pleasing.
For fuck's sake, just put them in the ground.
They want a bench by a tree overlooking, I don't know. I don't want to be buried.
I don't want to be buried. I want to go to the body farm, like we've discussed.
Oh yeah, you said that. It was inspired by the garden cemetery movement, which emphasized a park-like setting, bench, tree, combining natural beauty with burial sites. The Bangor Horticulture Society spearheaded the creation of Mount Hope Cemetery.
Okay.
The cemetery was designed by architect Charles G. Bryant in 1834. The same year, Bangor was incorporated as a city. So the initial land purchase consisted of 50 acres from Lot 27 situated along State Street, then known as County Road. Everyone has a county road.
Everybody does.
And there's another Penobscot River.
I love it.
Yeah. Approximately 12 acres were designated for horticulture activities, while the remaining land was allocated for burial purposes. So out of the 50 acres, 12 were designated for other activities. The rest were for bodies.
Jesus Christ, how many were dying?
Everybody.
That's insane.
Mount Hope Cemetery was meticulously planned to reflect the Romantic era landscape design principles. The grounds featured rolling hills, winding pathways, ponds, and a diverse array of plantings, creating a serene environment for both the living and the deceased.
Just put them in the ground.
This design does not only provide a dignified resting place, but also offered a tranquil retreat for visitors, aligning with the garden cemetery movement's philosophy of integrating nature and art. So I guess at that point, all the dead bodies are just nature? Or
I guess so. Yeah. If they're art, just start stuffing them and putting them in positions.
And then the cemetery was officially consecrated on July 21st, 1836. Following its establishment, the Mount Hope Cemetery Corporation undertook efforts to enhance the landscape because it wasn't enhanced enough, incorporating walkways, gardens, bridges, and ponds.
That money could be used elsewhere.
Yep, I agree. These improvements solidified Mount Hope's status as a premier garden cemetery and contributed to its listing on the National Register of Historic Places. This they did all this work and it paid off.
Sure. It paid off. But at what cost?
And I'll tell you what, people take their cemetery shit for real. The city I work
Really?
for has like a very special cemetery. It's very exclusive. It's very much like, and we get calls of like, I'm visiting the grave and the lawn is half an inch too like high. It needs to be cut. Or, I mean, just like crazy shit.
Where's
Like,
this? Where you work?
we have like a city cemetery and like we get mad calls about, yeah, the grass being too high or like, hey, there are raccoons. And I'm like, well, it's outside.
It's nature.
It's outside. Anyway,
What the fuck?
and I get it. It's your family. I get it.
I guess.
Throughout its history, Mount Hope Cemetery has served as the final resting place for many of Bangor's prominent citizens, including
Oh.
politicians, business leaders, and cultural figures. Notably, it is the burial site of Hannibal Hamlin, the 15th Vice President of the United States under Abraham Lincoln.
I've never heard of that person in my life.
I saw Hannibal and only knew of Hannibal Lecter.
That's what I thought of immediately. I was like, oh, Hannibal Lecter. Okay.
This was the Vice President of our United States, Hannibal Hamlin.
Wow. Just really unimportant.
The cemetery's enduring beauty and historical importance continue to make it a place of reflection and remembrance for the community. It reflects a pivotal moment in Bangor's history, showcasing the community's commitment to thoughtful urban planning and the integration of natural landscapes into civic spaces. So, Hannibal Hamlin, or 1809 to 1891, was a significant figure in American politics. Like I said, we didn't know who that was.
We don't know.
Serving as 15th Vice President of the United States under President Abraham Lincoln. He's born on August.
Well, maybe that's why, because it was fucking Abraham Lincoln was his running mate. Ain't nobody talk. I've never heard that man's name in my whole fucking life. But Abraham Lincoln was so prominent. No wonder. He was just a little in his shadow.
He was born on August 27th, 1809, in Paris, Maine. Hamlin's political career spans several decades. He served as a U.S. representative, U.S. senator, and the 26th governor of Maine. So it's just basically being like, oh, also he was a strong advocate to abolish slavery. So,
okay, well, he's a good guy. Wait,
what up,
so
Hamlin?
did he become president when Abraham Lincoln was assassinated?
That's a very good question. It doesn't say. It doesn't say.
Yeah,
because I'm assuming so. He would have to be sworn in.
That's how it works, right?
He passed away on July 4th. 1891. He's
so
81
patriotic.
Now. I know, he's 81.
Wow, he lived a long time for that time period.
Yeah, but he's buried there still.
Wow, rotting away.
Al Brandy, he's a notorious American bank robber during the 1930s. He was born in 1910 in Indiana. He led the Brady gang, which was involved in a series of robberies and murders across the Midwest. Brady's criminal activities made him one of the FBI's most wanted men.
Oh, yeah. Get it.
And then in October 1937, you said get it, I was like, hot. That's terrible. Brady and his gang traveled to Bangor, Maine to purchase firearms, unaware that the FBI was tracking them. Then on October 12th, 1937, a shootout ensued in downtown Bangor between the Brady gang and FBI agents. I just keep thinking of Brady Bunch.
I know.
So you hear the Brady gang, and I'm like, those crazy kids.
Those crazy kids.
But Al Brady was killed in this confrontation, with reports indicating that he was shot multiple times, resulting in a gruesome death. His body was initially unclaimed and was buried in a pauper's grave in Mount Hope Cemetery in Bangor. So, like I said earlier, renowned author Stephen King, all hail the king, a longtime resident of Bangor. Oh, so he was a resident of Bangor. Oh, God, he's going to get mad if he listens to this and knows I'm saying it wrong.
Oh, no. We're so sorry, Stephen King.
That's okay, Stephen King. Tell me, talk to me.
Yeah.
He has a well-documented connection to Mount Hope Cemetery. He frequented the cemetery for inspiration, reportedly borrowing names from headstones for his characters, such as Carrie and Georgie.
Wow.
I know. This practice has led some to speculate that the spirits of those individuals may have been disturbed, contributing to the paranormal activity reported. Moreover, the cemetery served as a filming location for the 1989 adaptation of King's novel Pet Cemetery, further entwining its identity with haunting narrative.
Yeah.
Two notable figures interred there are Joseph Marie Junin and Rufus Dwinel, both of whom have stories marked by mystery and controversy. They are old.
Yeah.
Joseph Marie Junin, 1759 to 1791. Old as hell.
That is old.
Born in La Rochelle, France. That's not how you say it.
I like it.
La Rochelle, France.
It sounds fancy.
Joseph Marie Junin ventured to America and became one of the first European settlers in the Bangor area. He was a French merchant, trapper, and trader who established himself along the Penobscot River. Massachusetts names, or Maine names. During the American Revolutionary War, Junin was suspected of acting as a British agent, using his influence with Native American tribes to incite unrest among American revolutionaries.
Interesting.
This suspicion was noted in historical records through concrete evidence. And then on February 18th, 1791, Junin was found murdered in his cabin, having been shot in the head.
I
His
wonder who did
nephew,
that.
Louis Parano, it's French, so it's definitely not Parano, was present at the time and claimed that Penobscot tribesmen were responsible.
Mm,
However, investigations revealed no evidence of Native American involvement, and
yeah.
suspicion fell on Parano.
Yeah.
Despite being arrested, he was acquitted due to lack of concrete evidence.
Hmm.
This incident remains Bangor's oldest unsolved murder, contributing to Junin's enduring ghostly legend.
Interesting.
And then Rufus Dwindle, 1804 to 1869. Rufus Dwindle, I'm 12 years old, was a prominent Bangor businessman known for a significant role in the lumber industry. He served as mayor of Bangor and was noted for his gregarious personality. Despite his social prominence, Dwindle never married, though he was often pursued by mothers seeking suitors for their daughters.
Oh my God.
In April, maybe he was gay.
Maybe he was gay.
Maybe he was gay. In April 1861, Dwindle was among a group of Bangor businessmen who organized a mob to attack the offices of the Bangor Democrat newspaper. The editor, Marcellus Emery, was a supporter of states' rights, and the mob sought to suppress his views.
Oh.
The group destroyed the printing presses and burned the office furnishings.
Wow.
Dwindle's involvement in this event highlights his influential and assertive character.
Mm-hmm.
Upon his death in 1869, Dwindle's will revealed a generous nature, as he bequeathed more money and gifts than his estate could cover. His sarcophagus in Mount Hope Cemetery
Sarcophagus.
stands as a testament
Damn.
to his prominence in Bangor's history.
Yeah.
The tales of Junin and Dwindle add layers of intrigue to Mount Hope Cemetery, intertwining themes of mystery, social dynamics, and the complexities of human nature. One of the most commonly reported experiences in Mount Hope Cemetery involves sightings of shadowy figures and apparitions.
Mm-hmm.
Visitors have described encountering distinct shapes moving among the tombstones, especially during the twilight hours. These figures are often perceived peripherally, disappearing when directly observed, leading to an unsettling sense of being watched.
Yeah.
Some accounts detail full-bodied apparitions dressed in period clothing, suggesting they may be the spirits of individuals buried within the cemetery.
Oh my gosh.
Old-timey.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond visual sightings, many visitors have reported experiencing sudden drops in temperature, an overwhelming sense of unease, and the feeling of being touched by unseen hands. And this is outside.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of space here. You don't gotta come fuck with me.
Unexplained sounds such as disembodied whispers, footsteps, and distant cries have also been documented. These auditory phenomena often occur in areas of the cemetery associated with tragic histories, amplifying the eerie atmosphere.
Yeah.
So, paranormal investigators have been drawn to Hope Cemetery, to explore these mysterious occurrences.
Mm-hmm.
And in a video tour of the cemetery, investigators captured footage of what they believe to be a paranormal activity over a 2-year period. The video showcases unexplained lights, shadowy figures, and electronic voice phenomena, EVP.
Yeah.
Where voices are heard on recordings that were not audible at the time of filming.
Yeah.
And there's a YouTube video about it too. I didn't hear anything though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Additionally, during the Bangor Historical Society's Dark Mount Hope Cemetery tour, participants have reported personal encounters with the supernatural. These guided tours, held annually, delve into the darker history of the cemetery, sharing stories of those interred and the mysterious events associated with their lives and deaths.
Oh my gosh.
Attendees have recounted feeling being watched, sudden chills, and even glimpses of unexplained figures during these nighttime tours.
Ooh.
So, all in
That's
all,
a dream.
The ghost stories and paranormal tales associated with Mount Hope Cemetery add a layer of mystique to this historic site. Whether one is skeptic or a believer, the accounts of apparitions, eerie sensations, and unexplained phenomena contribute to the enduring allure of Mount Hope Cemetery as a place where history and the supernatural intertwine.
Ooh.
And I just think it's so. So I looked up the tour. They do it annually in October.
Okay.
Nothing was put up for this year. It was still like last year's.
Yeah.
But I was like, how fun would that be? And I don't know. You hear it's like the normal stuff about a cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
and it's so weird to me to be like, they like meant this place to be so beautiful
Yeah.
and picturesque, and I don't know, it just seems so weird. It's like what my dad says, putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah. No, right? It literally is.
And I'm like, you tried so hard to make this a place of like peace and tranquility, and people are just dead. They're dead and they're
Yeah.
mad and they're
They're
just
dead
haunting.
and they're mad. Yeah. And you don't know, you can't control who's going to be buried there in
No.
terms of like if they had malicious intent in life
Yeah, like
and carried that to death.
the criminal, what was his name?
The
Al
Brady
Brady.
gang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who knew that he'd be buried there
Yeah.
and would carry all that negativity into this beautiful space?
And
That's why you
Stephen
don't make
King
it
was like,
pretty. Just fucking let the weeds grow.
yeah,
Maybe not the weeds. I don't know, but just don't worry about mowing it. Like, let's be real.
you better be worried people can call if it's not
That
mowed.
is so funny. I just like, I mean, I have grandparents buried in cemeteries, but like, I can't imagine going to their cemetery and being like,
With a ruler.
yeah, like that's not what I'm here for.
Mm-mm.
And so fucking what? Literally, so what? Like these people need a hobby.
They do.
People
So,
need a
yeah,
hobby.
I know we have family members buried in cemeteries.
Hmm.
I have never visited. Like,
Yeah,
we don't do that.
no, I've only visited my one family member one time. My grandmother, I visited. Because we were in the area and I had never visited before, and I was really close with her. And my grandpa was buried there too. So I guess I visited him too. They were buried next to each other. But before that, my grandpa had been dead for like almost a decade. I'd never gone prior to her death. So I mean, like, yeah, we don't go. That's not what our family does either. We don't really make treks to visit them. I'm not saying that it's not saying that we shouldn't. Like,
Yeah, it's special for some. Like, I think I've
yeah,
been to the Hollywood Cemetery where I don't know anyone who's buried there
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
than a cemetery
What?
where I have family
Yeah,
buried at.
exactly. I mean, maybe if it was more immediate, I don't know. And the cemetery that they're buried in is a few hours from here too. So I think that really contributes
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
another
Like,
reason why I don't want to be buried, because I'm like, you're
yeah,
gonna move away.
you're gonna move away. Just cremate me and take me with you, or just put me somewhere. I almost died in Scotland. We were in this place called the Fairy Glen on the Isle of Skye, and there's
Okay.
this little rock, not little, but it's kind of a large rock formation. It's called Castle Ewan because it looks like ruins of a castle,
Okay.
basically. So you can climb up there. It looks like there's stairs up to the middle of it, and you can kind of climb up, but it's just the way the rocks are. So I climbed up to the top as high as I could go, and Kevin took some pictures, and then I was walking back down so Kevin could walk up and I could take pictures of him.
Yeah.
And I tripped on a shoelace, and this is already like, I don't know, 10 to 15 feet up above the ground, and it's like kind of a narrow
Oh my
walkway.
God.
And so I tripped going down and like see my life flash before my eyes, but I'm not panicked because I'm like, if I'm gonna die anywhere,
This
how
just in
I
Scotland.
die in the fucking Fairy Glen in the Isle of,
Okay.
like, there's no hospital. I mean, there's a hospital in the Isle of Skye, but we saw banners in the little town that said save the hospital. So I don't think they're going to be providing any life-saving care for
Save
a
the
head injury from
hospital.
a rock fall.
They're gonna get
But
rid of the hospital?
I know, I was like, what? I think you guys need that on this island. The
I almost
mainland is
died.
far away. Yeah. So I don't think their emergency care is very good. I would have definitely died there. And I would not have been mad about that. I told Kevin, I was like, if I had died and you took my body back to the United States, I would have haunted you so hard. Like, leave me in fucking Scotland, in the most beautiful place I've ever been. For the love of God, don't you fucking dare take me back. That was interesting. It was so cool. I didn't realize Pet Cemetery was based off of an actual
And they
cemetery.
filmed there.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love hearing that lore.
I love Stephen King.
I know.
What a
I
badass.
He is such a badass. His son has written some books, and his son has written my
I
favorite
didn't know
horror
that.
book. Yeah, his name is Joe Hill, or that's his author name. And The Heart-Shaped Box is a book I highly recommend. It was so good. It's a scary
Okay.
book. But yeah, that's one of my
Heart-shaped.
favorite horror novels. It was interesting. 10 out of
Interesting.
10 recommend. 5-star review on Goodreads or whatever app we're using now.
Oh, he wrote Lock and Key.
He wrote Nosferatu. He wrote a book like that.
I
Not
haven't seen that
the
movie, but
It's
wait.
not, I don't think that's what the movie's based off of. I think the movie is just based off the general
Okay.
myth of Nosferatu, but he has a book called Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
That's based on the myth, I guess, as well.
That's very cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. If
Yeah.
you want to listen more, and we'd love if you did, please make sure you are subscribed to us on whatever platform you're listening on. And like and subscribe us on YouTube if you'd like to see the full video version so you can see our lovely faces.
Okay. And if there's something you want us to cover, let us
Yeah.
know, either a DM or an email. You can
Yeah.
email us your personal ghost stories and we'll read
Mhm.
them.
Our email is inmyhauntedera@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And we're at In My Haunted Era on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah. Reach
Yeah.
out.
Reach out. Let us know. Send us your ghost stories. We'll read them on a future episode. We're just waiting to gather enough of them. And yeah, we will see you next time and we'll
We'll haunt you
you
later.
later.